Chapter 11. Clarity in Purpose. Before clarity appears in how you speak, it must first appear in how you live, because communication is only an extension of understanding. And if your understanding of your own direction is unclear, your expression will reflect that. You may speak often, but without weight. You may act consistently, but without alignment. You may produce, but without movement. This is what happens when purpose is unclear. Clarity in purpose is not about having many options. It is about knowing what you are called to do and what you are not called to do. There is a difference between activity and direction. Many people are active. They are doing something. They are engaged. They are producing. But activity without clarity does not always lead to progress. It often leads to exhaustion, because without clear purpose, effort becomes scattered. Energy is divided across too many directions. Attention is pulled by whatever appears urgent. Decisions are made based on immediate pressure rather than long-term alignment. And over time, this creates a sense of movement without real advancement. Clarity in purpose brings focus. It defines what matters. It establishes direction. It creates a standard by which decisions can be made. When purpose is clear, not everything is equally important. Some things become necessary, others become optional, and many become distractions. This is important because one of the greatest challenges to clarity is not the absence of opportunity, but the presence of too many. Distraction is often misunderstood. It is not always something negative. It is often something good, but not aligned. A distraction can be an opportunity that does not serve your purpose. It can be an idea that is interesting but not essential. It can be an activity that feels productive but does not contribute to your direction. This is why clarity in purpose requires discipline. Not just the discipline to do what matters, but the discipline to say no to what does not. Noise plays a role here as well. I spoke to you about noise earlier. Just as there is noise in communication, there is noise in direction. There are many voices suggesting what you should do, many examples of what others are doing, many expectations, both external and internal. If you are not clear about your purpose, those voices begin to shape your decisions. You begin to respond instead of lead. You begin to follow instead of focus. You begin to adjust constantly instead of building consistently. And in this process, clarity is lost. Clarity in purpose requires stillness. It requires the willingness to step back and ask, what am I actually called to do? What is the work that has been entrusted to me? What is essential and what is not? These are not quick questions. They require reflection. They require honesty, because clarity cannot be borrowed from others. It must be understood personally. There is also a spiritual dimension to this. Purpose is not only discovered through ambition, it is revealed through alignment. When you are aligned with what you are called to do, there is a sense of direction, not necessarily ease, but clarity. You know what you are building. You know what you are pursuing. You know what matters. This does not eliminate challenges, but it removes confusion. And without confusion, decisions become clearer. Clarity in purpose also simplifies communication. When you know what you are about, it becomes easier to express it. Your message becomes consistent. Your actions align with your words. Your direction becomes visible to others. This is why people are drawn to clarity. It is not only what is said, but the consistency behind it, the alignment between intention and action. When purpose is clear, everything begins to align. In practical terms, this affects how you work. You begin to prioritize differently. You begin to structure your time differently. You begin to evaluate opportunities differently. You ask not only, is this good, but is this aligned? This changes everything because not every good opportunity is the right opportunity. There is also a cost to lacking clarity in purpose. It leads to wasted time. It leads to divided attention. It leads to inconsistent results. And over time, it leads to frustration. Not because you are not working, but because your work is not aligned. This is similar to the cost of confusion in communication. It may not be obvious at first, but it accumulates. Clarity in purpose reduces the cost. There is a connection between purpose and restraints. To be clear about what you are called to do is also to be clear about what you must ignore. This is not easy. It requires letting go of things that may seem valuable. It requires resisting the urge to respond to everything. It requires staying committed to a direction even when other options appear. But these restraints create focus, and focus creates progress. Take a moment to reflect. What are you currently doing that is not aligned with your purpose? Where is your attention being divided unnecessarily? What might you need to remove in order to become more focused? These questions are not about doing less. They are about doing what matters. Clarity in purpose is not about knowing everything. It is about knowing enough to move in the right direction. It is about having a clear sense of what you are building, why you are building it, and what it requires from you. And once that clarity is established, everything else becomes easier to evaluate. Clarity in purpose leads to clarity in action. It removes unnecessary noise. It reduces distraction. It strengthens focus. And over time, it produces consistent movements. Because when you know what you are called to do, you no longer move randomly. You move intentionally. And that changes everything.